everybody. My name is Kim Ross-Hollingsworth, and I am the founder of the Arts and Authors Extravaganza and Book Builders Academy, where we provide a platform for authors and artists to showcase and sell their work. Also, we teach new and current authors how to write, publish, and market their books. And with this podcast is called Arts and Authors Talk, where we interview authors and artists and we try to find out more information about them, because when I'm doing my Arts and Authors Extravaganza, I don't get a chance to go around to each one of the authors all the time to find out more information about them. So this podcast is so that I can dig a little bit deeper and find out more information about them. So tonight I have a guest here. Her name is author Trisha Williams, and I'm going to bring her on. Hey, Trisha, how are you?
Good evening and salutations to you, Kim. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. I would like for you to introduce yourself to our guest that's on tonight, and we're on several platforms. So if we cannot see you, like once you answer a question or ask us a question, we'll be able to answer those questions for you later on the night, either Trisha or myself. So Trisha, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm Trish Williams of IreeSky Fiction. That's my logo.
Yes, I love that logo too, by the way.
Thank you.
I see it all over Facebook.
I try. It's so important to establish yourself socially on social media platforms these days. So it hasn't been easy, but it's I've been established since 2017. I retired from the state of New Jersey. I worked there for 12 years in a supervisory capacity, but I'm a disabled person. Let me just make this really clear for you. I've been diagnosed with, because I don't claim any of it. And
don't claim it.
A born-again Christian who stands on his promises and his healing the day he died on the cross, and the blood doesn't diminish from that point. Amen. So I claim my healing, but as far as the world is concerned, I lost mobility for a long time and used a power chair and retired from the state. And once I retired from the state, I had to reestablish myself. So I got back into writing, and I have currently 17 books.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
That is awesome. So you wrote like how many books during the pandemic? Because I remember you telling us something about that, and that was at my sister's event at one of her wind down Wednesdays.
Yes. So, and that was such a lovely event. Please keep doing it. I'm encouraging. I'm uplifting. It was so inspirational, and we need more of it.
That's right.
For us to realize we are not crabs in a barrel. We are not in competition. We support each other.
Not at all.
Hoist each other up when necessary.
That's right.
So
I agree.
I really enjoyed it. So, yeah.
How many books did you say you wrote during the pandemic alone?
Well, I started writing. I wrote a book a long time ago. It was called After This, and it has a lot of me in it. But in order to for the book not to be so boring, I added some things to make it more exciting. And my husband read it, and he said, "This has become a fiction book."
So I did that too.
It became
with
fiction.
My memoir.
Yeah, but I love it. I really do like the book. So After This was established. When I first wrote that, it was 2010, the year I got married. But we have actually 2005, the year we met.
Wow.
And 2006, we had this horrific fire, and the flash drive and the documents all got burned. So, But God gives us beauty for ashes, because I rewrote it in 2015 after I retired, and I remembered a lot of it. So
that's awesome.
I wrote After This, and then God made this promise to me that this wasn't the last one. And I believed him. I had my channel set consistently to TBN so I could hear the televangelists. Let me tell you something. Faith comes by hearing.
Yes.
And the nurse who would come to help me would turn on TBN, clean my house, help me with self-care, feed me and leave. And TBN would still be on. So when TBN was on, I just kind of left it on and did whatever I had to do with writing. And next thing I know, the Lord was feeding me through that avenue by which I had a whole bunch of things to say. Also, Kim, and I'm gonna let you ask a question because I talk a lot too.
No, keep going. We need this.
Thank you. When I'm sitting there listening and typing, I realized that anytime I would go out, because I was disabled in the power chair, the only thing I would really go out for was for funerals. And I'm going to funerals 3 times a month, maybe, for people under 30.
Wow.
And so the Lord gave me this assignment to reach them and get them reading again. And I thought that was iconic for him to reach me in isolation as I'm healing. You know what I mean? So I took on the assignment, and it's still going.
That's awesome.
So 2017, I had to have brain surgery for the nerve damage incurred by domestic violence decades ago. Yes. So the brain surgery helped with mobility, helped me stop shaking so much. I had a non-essential hand tremor, yes, and stuttering and blinking mostly after that incident. So I had to have brain surgery. And after the brain surgery, I had a whole lot to say.
Right.
So my books are such that I wanted to reach the urban community and have them avoid common urban pitfalls, yes, such as gang recruitment and drugs and all the raw stuff that we see here every day. So that's how the Lord had established this platform of reaching young people. But some of my books are for us too. I mean,
that's right.
All the characters have a common denominator, that they're broken, yes, in some way, or they're in a pattern that they don't readily see. So by the end of the book, I mean, they all end well. I can't do a story without because I survived. I have to have my characters and what they've gone through, a lesson in each one, and they will have learned from it, and so will you.
Right. So your very first book, what inspired you to write that book?
My own lifestyle.
And why did you decide? Why did you feel as though you had to write a book about it?
Well, the book had been written prior to the fire. I didn't have the assignment from God to reach them in any way possible by any means necessary yet, but I did need to address some things I had gone through. I'm from a good family, well off, upper middle class, and we had everything we needed at access in to reach for. Whatever you needed was there. We had a maid, very big family, father and mother in the house, and most of my peers had a mother or a father. And then when I turned 13 in January, the year I turned 13, my father was taking each girl in the family. I have 4 or 5 sisters, and he was taking each girl in the family, teaching us a skill or a craft. He taught me welding and mechanics, working on cars. He taught one baking. He taught one how to cook on the grill. He taught one sewing. He was a jack of all trades. But what we didn't realize when I was 13 and when he was doing this, because I was actually pretty upset. I wanted to go play with my friends, and I'm under a car. Yeah. Changing the oil and spark plugs and tires, and I'm learning all this. Thank God he did. But my father was preparing us.
That's right.
Because he died in June, the year I turned 13.
Now, you have all sisters, right? Or you have one brother.
I have 2 brothers, but I lost a brother and a sister.
Wow.
So yeah. And I'm what they call the baby. So
it was 6 of you or 5?
7.
7. Wow. 7.
Yeah. So all of us were taught a trade before he left this earth, and I didn't realize. I lost my father at 13, but I really needed him at 20. Needed him at 20. And so the kind of child I was labeled a prodigy because I read very early. I was on Sesame Street, Zoom, Electric Company.
Really?
I read very, very early, so I was skipped a grade, and I was
wow,
a little spoiled by daddy. And so I understood how not to be shy, and I liked the stage, and I could do other things, play viola, sing, play
so he
piano.
taught
So
you a lot of life lessons
a
that
lot of life
most of us
lessons.
don't have.
Yeah, but before the age of 20, I had kind of put all that scholastic stuff behind me and got very much interested in boys, which was a trigger, and I kind of fell through the cracks on some levels, even though
Of
I had a
course.
lot of sisters to teach me what I needed to know, and a mother that would sit with us and talk to us about the real of the world and what to be aware of. I was jumping from man to man.
Yeah.
So that's what Missy, my character, is basically doing. She's in a pattern of self-destruction that she can't see,
Yeah.
jumping relationships a little too quick, whereas Missy should have dated herself to create a standard by which you know what you will go for and won't go for and
That's
won't
it.
stand for, which is how I fell into an abusive relationship, because I
Yeah.
didn't realize all the time I thought I was falling in love, this guy was isolating me away from my family.
Mm.
And I did suffer abuse, and I was like the head cheerleader of all my life. I cheered for every school I was in. But by the
Wow.
time I got to him, I had this really big head from a really big family of big heads. So when he abused me, I was too embarrassed to pick up the phone to tell them.
Right.
I kept saying to myself, my sisters are different and they'll come over here and kill him. And I didn't want them to know. I wasn't too much
Yeah.
worried about my brothers, but my sisters will kill you and walk to the prison and say, here I am. Walk to the police station,
Yep.
cuff me, because our little sister is not going to suffer at the hands of an abusive man.
I
So I never
believe
told
it.
them. But after I was diagnosed with neuropathy in 2009, I had met another wonderful, wonderful man who still pulls out doors and pulls out chairs and open doors for me. So it was a big difference, a big difference.
Yes.
And he encouraged me to write. So my first story is basically about, being promiscuous.
Yeah. Now, do you have that book in front of you by any chance?
I sold out the other night, but I do have
I know.
I have
Okay.
my
First of all,
pictures.
before you go any further, we just came from a Queens event, and some of our
Yes.
queens are on here from the Go Be Great community. And when we saw each other the other night, we
Yes.
didn't even know who each other was, but well, first of all, we met even before my sister's event at the Wind
Right.
Down.
Right.
You
Yes, we
had to
did.
remind me because I didn't know you had came to one of the arts and authors before.
I did. But
So
in your defense, I look different every time somebody sees me because I change my hair so often.
me
And now
too. You
I'm
know.
wearing all of us like the luxury of black hair. I love it.
But see, people recognize me before I recognize them.
Yeah,
And that's the
I always
purpose.
recognize you. I always
Exactly. That's
and
the
I go,
purpose of us doing this podcast, is because I don't recognize a lot of people because I don't see a lot of people when I'm at the
yeah.
events.
Well, you do stand
So
out. So I always go, I know her. Wait, is it Pam? Is it Kim? Is it I always go and I go, hey, because I know you.
and we did the
I
same
can't let you
thing
pass.
the other night. And you
Yeah.
looked at me and you were like, I need you to take a picture. And I'm like, and then you were like, Kim.
I said, hold my scepter. I said, hold my scepter. You were
But
like,
that's just
Trish,
so
I already know
funny.
you.
Exactly.
said,
You already know
I
me.
said, hi,
But
I'm Trish. I survived domestic violence and I wrote 17 books. Will you take a picture for me? He was like,
exactly. I'm like, I know you.
this is not new.
But this is so interesting. And I love how we have that author support because
I
we're
love it.
around, but no one knows who you are or what you do unless you tell them or unless you engage in certain events that we do or on our podcast.
You're so right. You're so right. And this is my first time on your podcast. I'm very proud to be a part of it. I was really happy to be part of the arts and authors extravaganza then, but I didn't know what I was doing back then. This has since evolved into my business. This is all I do every day is write and edit for other people. So it started out with one hat as my own books, but so many people needed help with this publishing platform that I established a business to edit for other people, and I have since edited 170 books, manuscripts, and publications for
that's unbelievable.
Other people. Yeah,
that's
thank you. That God gets all the credit, Kim. God gets all the credit, because this was just something I wanted to do as far as helping people, but He has since. I do consultation, and I also tutor people to prepare them just the basic English skills, 8 parts of speech, go over things. I haven't seen a book in 20 years. I need help. Is it there, or there? Because a lot of people, they apostrophe are. So I go over just a brief, refreshing of English with them before they write their books. And then I also offer proofreading, where I look at everything like a teacher, mark it in red, hand it back to you.
Oh, I believe it, because I've read in your bio that you were an English major, so I know.
You know, I got that wrong. I'm minored in English, but I was a childhood education major, and then at some point I didn't want to teach anymore. I just wanted to. There's a dividing line where you can go into teaching or counseling. And counseling worked better for me at that time. But now I have no desire to stand in front of 50 sixth graders. None.
Yeah.
No desire at all.
It's a lot.
I like English. I like
before
words.
You go on, I don't know if you can read some of these comments that people are leaving here. Can you see those comments?
Hallelujah. I see them. Oh,
so
that's
we had a
queen.
lot that came through already. Thank you. It's God's flow, girl. I can't take any credit. God has helped me with these 17 books, and I'm trying to reach as many people I can to get us reading again. I hate walking up to somebody of color and I ask, "Oh, do you read?" And they say no. Well, you're a Black man in America. You're a Black woman in America. You better read, and you better know a little Spanish too. Exactly. Well, that's why I love encouraging like the Book Builders Academy to help people write their books or get their stories out. I like to, to keep promoting the Arts and Authors Extravaganza, and we are celebrating our 12th year. We just finished our 11th. We already started getting bookings for
it's so important
for next year. Because it is so important. People do not read anymore. You know what they read?
Yeah, that's what they're reading. That's what they're reading.
Social media.
We as a people need to read. If you can, pick up some James Baldwin, pick up some Nikki Giovanni, pick up. It doesn't have to be anybody famous. Just support me, support Kim.
Amen.
Whatever she's doing.
That's it.
If you take the time to read it, you'll see where our thoughts are, but you'll also have to reflect inward and say, what would I have done in this situation? That's why I love the book club.
Exactly.
When the book clubs support me and buy one book, then the next book, they call me in to discuss these things.
Yes, they do. And them, that's what's so exciting about it.
Yes, I ask them all the time, which character did you identify with the most?
Yeah.
And what would you have done? And we do alternate endings, because some of my books in a little too, they say, oh no, my books are 125 pages, never more. And they get mad at me.
Well, you know what? I like that, because that's what I encourage through Book Builders Academy.
Just little short.
People like short reads. We don't have, it's so many people out here that don't have the time or the mental stability to sit for long periods of time. They just don't have that anymore. And that's why I encourage the short reads. And if you want to start a next chapter, like a next book or series or something like that, do that. But keep them at a shorter read. You'll sell more books. Plus, you're
Well,
selling a series, so you're
you'll
going to
sell a
sell more
series,
books
right? There
anyway.
you go. There you go. It's another stream of income for you.
That's a little
So,
tip for our authors out there.
and then there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, you know what, Trish? I do audio so I can listen while I'm on a treadmill or something." And
Yes.
I'm not Audible yet. Y'all got to help me with the Audible.
We
I know a
will
lot, but
help you
I don't know.
with the
Yeah, I don't
Audible.
know about no audio. You got to teach me.
And look at what Kiara just wrote. She said, "I love books and I won't read from a Kindle. It's something about the feel of the page
And the smell,
and the
the fingers
smell
running
of
through
a
the
page."
pages. It's so awesome to read, actually
Yes.
read. And then you can turn it over, go to the bathroom, cook some food, and come back and pick it up.
Love
It
my
just,
books.
I
Love
want my
my
books.
books.
I need my bookshelf.
The Kindle for some reason make me sleepy.
Yeah,
It's because I don't
lighting.
have the flip of the page.
I need to feel those pages between my
Me too.
fingers. A lot of
I
old
do too.
school people are like that. But I
Look at
understand if
Linda.
they want to listen to my book while I'm on the treadmill. And then I had a couple people try to do readings for me, but they don't read the book. They don't read my book in the way I know it's supposed to go.
Right.
Like where the accent is and where the dun, dun, dun.
Well, you know what? I like what you just said about that, because within our Go Be Great community, we have a book club that we listen to every Tuesday night.
Okay.
So we listen to the Audible book. And
Okay.
I like that better because of the fact that, like you just said, they talk to you in their own voice.
Yeah.
And you can hear the suspense. You can hear
that build
the
up.
excitement. Yeah. You can hear the sadness.
Yeah.
You can hear all that once they read it to you. So
and
it's not like you're
know
just
exactly when those cues are coming. They know what happened already.
Exactly.
So
and we're actually reading Taraji P. Henson's book right now.
Oh, awesome. Yes.
And it's just so funny how she, can read the book. So I encourage you, please, if you're going to do Audible,
you have to show me how, girl,
and get it done.
Somebody got to open that door for me because I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I don't even have ebooks yet. I just have my paperbacks. Really? I know we don't have a lot of time, but I did want to show you guys after this.
Please. Let's see that first book.
Yeah, this is Missy. And Missy's a bit promiscuous. Okay. And she was attracted to I can't say a thug, but she was attracted to thug.
Yeah.
And one after another, and after another. But in the middle of the book is where God told me a man chooses a wife. Mm-hmm. We don't make the choice.
That's true.
So if you're going to abide by Christian authority and Christian maturity, a man chose me. He'll tell you to this day, I am not her type. Yeah. But it was the best thing for me. 17 years together and 12 years of marriage. If I had picked, I would have just gone out and picked another thug. They just got different names. All of them just got different names, but they're all the same thug.
Yes.
Yeah, true. They're all the same guy. And then when I let God do the choosing,
that's right.
He literally prepared me.
I agree.
So hold on, single ladies. If you don't have to be alone unless you want to. Exactly. But when you are seeking what they consider your Boaz, God will prepare you.
Yes, it's so
for
true.
him. And the awesome part is he's preparing him for you, a true queen, so you can be respected the way you deserve. And
wow,
amongst all the rocks in the cosmos, you're the diamond that God is preparing for him. So
I like that.
You want him to be ready. You don't want to get him early.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't want to keep picking your same type because you'll see that, wow, I really am picking the same guy over and over again. It's not a good experience. Yeah, it's not a good experience. And it's like kind of like the Israelites in the wilderness for 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eating manna. If you don't learn the lesson, you're going to stay in that wilderness.
It's so true.
So the lesson was for me. Yep. The lesson was for me. Stop picking men. Yeah. I have a man I prepared especially for you.
That's so true. Because that's what happened with me. My first book, Nothing Beats a Failure But a Try, memoir about my 3 husbands. So the first one wasn't chosen for me. Of course, high school sweetheart. Second one definitely wasn't chosen for me. It was a rebound from the first. Mm-hmm. But now with the third one, it's like I knew for a fact I wasn't going out looking for him. He was chosen for me.
You sat still.
Sometimes we gotta what? I sat still. I learned my likes and dislikes. And it was
hallelujah.
2 years. It was a good 2 years. Woo! But I've been with him almost 20 something years, 21 now almost, and 16 years married almost in February, 16 years married. So when you know that
you know. Yeah.
You didn't go out there and pick him yourself.
He is not my type. I can't say he is, but when somebody tends to, you're not used to.
That's right, Linda.
Opening doors, you got it. It's such a waste of time. If I can catch you when you're young, if I can catch you now, if I can get them reading now, you will see that you built the standard by which you know what you won't accept and will accept. And the only thing that attracted me at 24 was rims, Timbs,
the thugs,
the money
the thugs.
So I totally 100% cut out secular music because I had to.
Yeah.
That's what attracts me to that type of person.
Right.
I had to stop videos. All I listen to now is K-Love.
And then not only that, I had to learn that you have to treat or teach a man how you want to be treated. So if you are that type of person who want your door opened, every time you go to get in that car, you need to tell him from the door. That's the type of person you are, and that's how you want to be treated.
You know what,
Kim? Tell the man that you meet that that's what you want, he will do it.
Right.
But if you never say that to him, he's never going to do it.
And you know what? You know what, too? You don't even have to verbalize it, because if you stand at that door and you don't even have to go, you just blink. And he'll be over there to open it for you. If he don't come in and open,
you are absolutely right.
Don't go.
And I learned that from my Aunt Karen.
Stand there.
You know, she's not here with us anymore. But my Aunt Karen was that type of woman. She will stand there at the car and tell her husband open that door, which is my Uncle Johnny, my mom's brother.
He gonna open that door.
He told her he don't want her opening the door.
Yeah, that's how my husband was. As a matter of fact, we went to a restaurant and I stood and he skipped up and opened the door for me and like 12 other ladies behind me. And it was so different. It was so different. Because most of the thugs I was with would be like, "What you waiting for? Open the door. What we standing here for?"
Yep. But if you teach them from the door, and this is another thing I learned. When I was with my ex-husband, the middle one.
The middle one.
Yes, not little, middle one.
The middle one. That's why you got to read this book.
Well, anyway, one day we were sitting down and my mother asked him specifically, why do you treat my daughter the way that you treat her?
Yeah.
And he said, because she let me.
Because she let me.
Because she let me.
You think about that.
Those words resonate with me so much today.
And we don't forget.
And I will never forget. And till this day, even through my current marriage, if you allow somebody to do and treat you however they want, they're going to do it.
Yep, you're contributing to your own misery.
That's it.
And the standard that you create for yourself.
That's it.
The minute you see something that you don't like with me and my husband, I think that God gave me for a reason. I'm not good with money. I would get my check, instead of fill the refrigerator. I take my kids for crab legs. There's still nothing in there after you eat the crab legs, Trish. He's more disciplined with money, and there's things he needed to learn from me as well.
Yes.
We went out to dinner. We're in a quiet, cozy booth. The food came, and we're eating. This is like the perfect man for me. This is first date. I don't know you yet.
Yes.
And he took his thumb. I wish he was here right now. He took his thumb to scrape up that last bit of salad and crouton and put it in his mouth. Now, I'm not going to throw away a whole man because you don't have table manners.
No, you have to pick and choose
but God
the little
said,
things that don't really matter.
This man is a little rough around the edges. It's going to be some things that I have to teach him. Yeah. There is an age difference with us. And I said, I'm going to tell you something that just disgusted me. And he said, what? He's looking at the spinach in his teeth. I said, no, never, ever, ever stick your thumb in a plate. That's what the knife's for. So he was receptive. He listened to me.
Yeah.
He didn't say, well, I've been eating 40 years by myself. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like he took the knife and said, show me. And I showed him how to, distribute. I showed him about the place settings, when you, because he could pull out chairs and open doors. He had no brothers. He only had sisters. So he understands protection of a woman. Yes. But he didn't understand the infinite details of table etiquette.
Well, you know what? I do get that too.
That drove me crazy.
And it can go both ways. Yeah. Some of the things we do, they may not accept, and vice versa. But my issue was putting the trash out. And I do got to tell y'all that real quick. Putting the trash out. Because my husband, he's from Camden. Okay. And not to say that, being from a certain place, you don't know certain things. I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying that. But
he just decided that, he wanted to stick the trash outside with just the bag instead of inside the trash can. And I'm like, babe.
Raccoons.
Like, not even raccoons. It's a look. It's like, you ain't throwing trash out there on the side of the road. Like,
there are some things we
put it in the trash can and make sure you put a lid on it.
Have to teach them. And there's some things that are too, girl.
So,
put a lid on it.
So it's the little things. It's the little things.
I do. It was some things.
I get it. Now, you said...
Did I tell you that he dressed me for the Queen affair?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I don't know how to dress.
Some of our queens are on here right now, so...
Oh, okay, good.
They can you can talk about that for a minute because they will appreciate that.
I am no fashionista, first of all. I'm a plain Jane. I'm the plainest of Janes. And my husband has this keen GQ eye, and he dresses me much better than I dress myself. Now, when you guys have on casual clothes, like you're casual today, Kim,
yes,
that's my dressy.
No. Unlike Kiara, you see Kiara's on here. Y'all look really good.
Thank you.
She's always taking pictures, and her husband was the king of photography the other night.
Pick up the phone and tell him thank you, because I swear I could not dress myself. I can match clothes, and I know when they're clean. That's it. That's the gist of my fashionista.
Well, you look beautiful.
Don't count on me. He bought the crown. He bought the bangle that matched. He bought the dress.
That's
he bought
unbelievable.
The shoes. I don't know how to. All white.
And I'm just the opposite.
My white.
I dress everybody in the house. It's like my husband's the type that he doesn't even like going to the store to buy his own clothes. I buy his clothes. I buy the kids' clothes.
I see. Okay, you're him then. Yeah, you're my husband. I don't know how to. Yeah, I've never been. It's just us women here. It's just the queens. I've never been fitted.
We have men on here.
Oh, sorry. I've never been fitted for a bra. I have no idea what size I was. Well, when you have a lot of sisters, you get a lot of hand-me-downs. So I never had an actual experience where I got measured for a bra.
Yeah.
And I'm 54.
He picked your bras out too?
Yeah. Lane Bryant. I didn't even know what Lane Bryant was, but yeah. So he picked.
Way.
Yeah, I don't. He did my makeup. I don't.
Hold on. He put your makeup on you?
since I was in the wheelchair, yeah. But
No way.
I'm learning.
Y'all hear this, ladies? Her
I
husband
don't know
put
a lot
makeup
about
on her too.
makeup and shoes, and you know how somebody said like it was a meme about red bottoms, and I had no idea what they were talking about. And then what's this?
It is. That is awesome.
You know there's a logo or label with two C's. I don't know if it's Gucci or Chanel or
That's
I don't know.
Chanel.
Okay, so he bought
I
that
know.
bag. He bought that bag, and then he bought a D and B.
Dunenberger or something like that. Somebody help me out
Dolce
with.
and Gabbana. No, not Dolce and Gabbana. The one them, the people you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the bag I brought with
I don't
me.
have one, of course.
He came home with it.
What?
And I said he thought I was going to swoon over him, and I was like, what's the big deal? I have to wear book bags because I have to be hands free to hold on.
There you go, Dunenberg. That's right, Tasha. That's right, Coach Tasha.
I'm satisfied with my little M&M bag.
Well, listen, I'm a handbag queen. I love my bags. That's because my feet are too big. My feet are too big to wear shoes. So, to get the cute shoes.
You know how women have like
my bags.
A certain space in the closet, or you need your own closet, or you have a basement closet for shoes and clothes. It's all my husband's clothes. Mine are folded up in the drawer. I don't have nothing that needs to be ironed.
That's funny. Now, I have a question for you.
Sure.
You said that every single book that you've written has some truth to it and also some fiction.
It's
correct?
mostly fiction from my imagination because I can't do a lot of things well, but I write well. So I always stem from either things I've seen in Trenton, things I subjected myself to in Trenton,
yes,
or things that need to be told that I observe. Okay, right. I'm observing this. We need to talk about this thing. We need to talk about this.
So is each one of your books have some sort of meaning well, I know they have to have a meaning behind them. But or is there a lesson behind each one of your books?
There's a lesson in each one. So the last one I did was Carousel, Generational Curses. And we all have them. There is things we get from our parents, our eye color, our hair, our nails. But I've gotten sick of people saying, we a family of drinkers. My family could drink you under the table, or
we all have at least one.
Yeah, some things are hereditary, but these things we choose. I got my daddy's temper. I'm so sick of it. No, you don't, girl. That's a choice. That's a choice. If you want to keep making enemies and keep arguing with people because your daddy did, that's not heredity.
That is a choice
from our parents. Yeah.
And you know how I know that's a choice? Because you can have parents that have those traits. One parent can have that alcoholic or temper or something like that. But you can have 5 kids. Or I'm going to say 4 because it's 4 of us. You can have 4 kids.
I got 4 kids.
But that does not mean all 4 of them have a temper. All 4 of them have a drinking problem. No, because it's a choice.
Now, I understand when you're predisposed to something. I do understand that. My parents were smokers.
But you know what? I still believe that that's a choice.
It's a choice.
That's a learned behavior.
You got it, Kim.
A learned behavior. And that means that you can decide that you want to go that route, or you can decide that you do not want to go that route. It's a learned behavior.
Yeah, I'm so sick of it. She a hoe just like her mama was. I mean, come on, y'all. There's some things we do get from our parents. There's some things, but there's still that line where what do you think is going to happen to your children?
Yes.
The generational curse book I wrote, Carousel, they're a family of scam artists, and everything they own is through scamming. So the The Sade is the curse breaker. Sade is the youngest, and she's in her family, and you can go like this with your debit card. She know every number. She know the expiration date just by you flashing it.
What?
It's what she's good at. She remembers license plates. She just remembers the sequence of numbers when she sees them automatically. It's just a gift of hers.
Unbelievable.
But she has a friend, Capri, and Capri is a Christian. So Sade became the curse breaker because her family wanted her to utilize that gift to keep building what was happening in the house.
Wow.
All my books are based in Trenton, but anybody in any urban community can relate to my books. And Carousel is a popular one because everybody knows a family like that.
Yes.
The whole family.
Now, is there any sequential order to your books? Like when you wrote your first book, what inspired you or made you write the second one?
Well, at that point I had the assignment from the Lord, and that's Mecca-Kai Funderburg. So Mecca-Kai Funderburg, let me find that one.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I got
Kiara
pictures.
has a great question. After you finish that one, which one is your personal favorite? Because the reason why we're asking these questions is no one just come off the top of their head and say, I'm going to write 17 books. There has to be a reason.
I'm going to hold them up. I'm going to hold them up and give you the inspiration behind each one. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, can you guys see this? Am I too close?
I can. Not real clear, but I can see.
Okay, after this, inspired by my own life, and somebody keeps saying the thing that we hate to hear is can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
Yes.
Okay, so promiscuity. This is if only she's a little bougie, little entitled. It's my second book. Little spoiled. And her father pulls out the credit card every time she wants something. Daddy, 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 daddy. But dads do not live forever. And he never adequately prepared her, Kim, for real life. How to start a business, build credit, even change her freaking tires so we won't be on the side of the road waiting for a man to come and save us.
Wow.
So she went through a lot of stuff at 16 when she lost her father, and all she had, as much as he loved her and doted on her, and we keep putting tiaras on him and snapping pictures, you better teach him something that's for your legacy. Yes. So this particular girl, the only thing she had at 16 was her body. So what do you think she did?
Sold it.
Then we got Twin Towers. I have two sons. They're kind of cornballs, and I love that they're cornballs because they play viola, violin, cello, kind of like me, and they stayed out of trouble. But I wrote this book in 2015. They graduated the following year. And then I asked them, because they asked me, Mom, you're always writing about the girls. What about us? So I said, well, what did y'all go through? I had no idea. I would have really freaked out if I knew somebody was approaching them every day with that whole get down, lay down mentality to join the Bloods. And they never told me. So I had, when one teacher called me and told them that, they're getting bullied. Shout out to JVR. That's my son. They were getting bullied. I had them ride to school on their, because I bought them mopeds. Yes. I had them ride to school with their instruments on their backs, and they weren't messed with anymore. I don't know why. Wow. I'm talking about not kids in the school. I'm talking about the gang recruitment kind of stopped because they just stopped messing with them. So that saved them. But it could have made it a lot worse. You riding with a viola, violin on your back. But I thank God they weren't messed with after that. But basically, gang recruitment and domestic violence in that one. And Trenton High just bought 1,000 of these for the outgoing graduate boys.
That is so awesome.
This is for after all, she's seeking her birth mother, and heard she was in this area. She's from Nome, Alaska, and in her Inuit village, they look like us. So when she came here, it was culture shock, and it's kind of funny. It's like my quirky book. Let's talk about that one last. Well, let's talk about that one last. Flawless is about a runaway. How much more time we got?
No, keep going. You good.
Okay. Lawless is about a runaway. It was a stage play I did in 2016. A brother and sister sibling pair. They were raised with both parents, but basically it's the Bible's prodigal child story, where you have one who recognizes home training, does what his father says. The other one is buck wild. The one that says, "Give me my share of the inheritance, let me go out into the world," ended up in the pig slop. Well, I made the runaway a girl, because when boys run away, Kim, they sleep on a friend's couch or a cousin's couch for a week, and they come back and apologize to mom. Mom, I'm sorry. Boy, go in there and take that garbage out. Everything's fine. But when girls run away, we don't always get them back. We have to celebrate our girls when we do get them back. So this Flawless is basically about a runaway. What we got? Oh, this one is for my children only. We'll just put that to the side. That's why I say 17 books, not 16, because I actually wrote 17. Put that one to the side. There's Carousel, the one I talked to you about, breaking generational curses. Sade is the curse breaker. I love this book. Black is Enough, which was reviewed today by Erica Neville, who was at the
yes, Erica's another Go Be Great Queen.
Go Be Great Queen. I'm telling you, she read the book before that morning. The book was read, and she had a review on my timeline before.
What? See?
She got the book, read it. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate reviews. Reviews allow people to understand that there's room for improvement. There's room for improvement always.
That's right.
And where the character is relatable. So this character, Janelle Howard, has vitiligo. Black is Enough. And so, and so does Erica. So she could relate to this character, and it does not define her. We are so much more than skin.
That's it.
Okay, let's put that one to the side. I'm gonna pick them back up in a minute. This is my personal favorite, Side Effect.
Now, is that the one that's the one that was that the first one, or that's the one I remember?
This
like
is the
when
one
I met you years ago.
Yeah, this is the one we discussed, because Side Effect is about, how they say side chick or side man. A side effect itself is a consequence. And once you step your foot or toe outside of your marriage for whatever reason, remember that that's demonic. Because if you're married and there's a vow taken, that's a covenant between three individuals, three entities. You,
the husband, the wife, and God.
And your God. So once you break, and God invented marriage. A lot of people don't understand that. It's not a man-made thing.
No.
So when you decide to go ahead and take that vow lightly and step outside the marriage, or whether it be the male or the female, expect 7 more demons to follow you back. And the reason I say that is because here lately, some of these girls are getting married, some of these men are getting married because they want to be queen for the day or king for the day and have a show. But you really have to know that man and woman together should be equally yoked.
That's right.
And only God can tell you that.
Yes. And I have one more thing to add to that, what you just said. Juanita Bynum. That was one of the first books that like really got to me.
It woke me up.
And what you just said about having like multiple partners.
Yeah.
When you mess around or sleep with one person, you have a bit of each one of them people in you.
That's the energy. Yep.
The energy. Let me tell you, I'm not even going to go any deeper with that. But if anybody's on here, watch or read Juanita Bynum.
Yeah.
I could not believe that when I would hear that, because I'm a very, very spiritual person.
Yeah.
And I believe everything that she talked about.
It's the truth.
It is the truth.
You're accepting their energy too. And all their issues. And
then you wonder why you crazy. When you out there, when you out there,
there is a reason
with everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about right now. Like, I'm talking about over the years, the build up. Now we're in our 50s.
and end up in a mental
if
hospital.
you consider each one of them people, then you wonder why you're crazy.
Then you wonder why you're crazy. Now think about that. lifelong partners with these people, and you expect nothing not to pass through. Buying them.
They better read it.
This is my husband's favorite heart condition. He said it's the best book I have ever written because it's about stalking. Now, a lot of people don't know the motivation behind why people stalk. You automatically assume it's an ex-boyfriend, ex-wife. No.
Tell us.
She's literally being stalked for her physical heart because somebody don't want to wait on the transplant list.
Oh.
It was my first stab at a mystery, and he said I did excellent. So it's his favorite.
It sounds good.
It's enticing.
Okay. It sounds great.
Let me get to the next one. I'm almost done, y'all. This is the one I told you about, IreeSky Funderburg.
Yes.
Mecca is from Wilbur Section, and all these books are based in Trenton. Mecca has reduced herself to it's called For Now, and a lot of us will do things for now. We'll pay $50 on a light bill for now. We'll duct tape air conditioner for now. We'll duct tape stuff for now.
That's true.
We wash our white clothes for now. We really have to stop that. Get out of that pattern of doing things temporarily and do the whole doggone thing. Just do it. Just pay the whole bill. Just wash all the clothes. We do things and say, I'll get back to it. I just do this for now. And then it becomes a lifestyle.
And you never get to it. Sometimes you never get to those projects. They will sit there forever. Who pays the whole bill? When your bill is $600, electric bill, who pays the whole bill? Mine ain't never that high.
I'm gonna just give him $100 for now. Go get some shoes. This is the lesson that my husband, or I should say, the Lord was trying to teach me. You can't get paid and go get crab legs. You have to live all month.
Yes.
So what you need to do is, I gave you a man who understands money and saving and investing. He understands these things. I was like a 15-year-old. Come on, y'all. We're going out to eat. I don't feel like cooking. You better feel like cooking, because the price of food today, if you go get milk and bread, girl, it's $11.
Yeah, it's expensive. Very expensive.
Milk and bread used to be what, $5? Get maybe a couple chicken wings. Yeah. Chicken wings. Did y'all see the price of chicken wings? I have. And remember when neck bones was like the cheapest? I'm like, $8 for a pack of neck bones. I'm like, I can't. So my 24-year-old sons have recently moved out, and they said, Mom, I'm so glad you taught us how to shop. I'm so glad you taught us how to make $1 out of 15 cents, because this meat is high. And I'm in line with a lady trying to help her with her coupons, because I'm standing there with my digital coupons, and we both needed to save some money. Unbelievable. So, my boys moved out, but it's not easy. It's not easy. So For Now, that's basically what it's about. But this young lady, IreeSky Funderburg, is in her For Now stage of life. And anything that her and her friends in the section see around there, they just get used to. They get used to murder. They get used to raids. They get used to crackheads. They think it's normal. It's normal. And honey, it is not normal. No. It's not normal. You don't have to remove yourself from where you live, because that might be all you can afford. Yeah. But remove the mindset that that's how it's supposed to be. Exactly. Do you understand? Yeah. Yep. So my husband had this. This is a heavily influenced by my husband to write For Now, because Mecca got used to everything around her and it was nothing. I'm talking about bloody pit bull fights, murder, all kinds of stuff. It was just like normal for her to see that every day. Yeah. But God came into her life and showed her something different. And it was through her mother's illness that she discovered this is not normal. No. Yeah, I like that one. But you know what? You just said something that made me think about something. What you got? You just said that they didn't leave there because affordability. They couldn't afford something else different. Yeah. Do you know wherever you go, there's a ghetto? There you are. Do you know wherever you go, there's affordable housing? Everywhere you go. You could go to Hawaii.
I don't like when people say that they're stuck in a certain place because they can't afford nothing else.
It's a choice, Kim.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. You ain't gotta stay there. What you gotta
You
stay
ain't
there
gotta
for?
stay there.
Who told you that? And then some people prefer it. Remember that line that set it off?
Yes, I do.
When they were sitting on the steps and she says, "I'm sorry, you're sorry. Where were you going to be in 5 years?" She said, "I'm going to be right here. I don't want to go nowhere. This is where I belong. We ain't nothing but hood rats."
That's it. So I just had to address that real quick. So go ahead.
We don't get another life. You got another life, Kim? You got another life?
No, but see, the reason why I said that is because my husband was born and raised in Camden. I graduated from Woodrow Wilson. It was my choice to get out.
Yeah, choice.
You know, and I left at 19. You don't have to stay somewhere where you don't want to be.
Honey, Abraham left Ur, and Ur was Camden and Trenton.
Yes.
They were worshiping all kinds. They were worshiping all kinds of crazy statues and gods. And he told Abraham, "Get up and go." He ain't say nothing about Lot. He ain't say nothing about nobody else.
Yes.
Separate. God will isolate you for his purpose.
Exactly. And then not only that, they're picking up certain places. They're making them better. They're doing great things in certain areas, which I appreciate. And you know, and I have a daughter that, you know, is going to college there. So I appreciate the change. But
if the mindset of everyday people is apathy, that I give when my sons lived here, I give them a word a week. Yes. And they have to use that word throughout the week in different ways back to me. It's just, I always demanded that of my children. I have 4. And the girls know, they're 35 and 30 now. But the boys, they were so sick of me. I'm like, the word for the week is this. The word for the week is this. Every Sunday I would give them a new word. So apathy was a word, and okay, I'm giving y'all a word, apathy. When you get used to what's supposed to be normal around you and you accept it, you don't stand on your own 2 feet to open your mouth and use your God-given authority that he gave you to differ. You scared to differ.
I agree.
If you're scared to differ, then
I agree.
You're apathetic.
Plus, it's good to get out and experience different things in the world, and you know. And then if you decide you want to go back to places, you go back.
Why not?
But
why not?
You got to try different things. But really quick, before you go any further, Kiara said, do you get your title or your topic first, or the story? Which comes to mind first when you are thinking about writing books?
Okay, for example, the one I'm working on now is called Womanic.
Womanic?
Woman, it's a woman that's manic. Womanic.
It's a good title.
Now, God will plant a seed in me. For some reason, it always comes to me 3 o'clock in the morning or when I'm in the shower. He speaks to me through the water. I don't know how, but my ideas come when water's running.
I like that because I do the same thing.
Really?
My favorite place is the bathroom when I'm either sitting
on the toilet. But my friend Donna, my friend Donna, who just
I'm sorry, but I do. Or when I'm in the shower.
She said it to me, and I so identified with her saying it. I said,
"You know what?
To me in water too."
I had another person on the show, Martha Thompson.
Okay.
And she's a prophetess, and she was saying something about water. So when you get off, just look up water.
You got it.
Yeah, we got you. So look up water. But go ahead.
So to answer Kiara, 3 o'clock in the morning, for some reason, I guess that's my hour. And one of the people I edited for, her name is Reverend Frida. She told me that's your it's your Ezekiel. She calls it her Ezekiel hour. That's when you're on the wall to wake up, and that's your shift. That's your shift.
And guess what? That's another thing. 3 o'clock in the morning is supposed to be a spiritual hour.
It has to be, because that's the time you keep waking me up, planting seeds in me.
It is.
Hallelujah, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Look that one up too, because 3 o'clock in the morning has meaning. Yeah, it does.
That's
Look,
my.
I'm
I
telling
said,
you.
Miss Reverend Frida, Mom Frida, that I keep waking up 3 o'clock in the morning with a new
Yep,
idea. I'll get my stickies and write on a sticky and stick it to the side and write, and so I won't forget it and then go back to sleep.
that's
But then
right.
she said, "That's your hour."
It
She said,
is.
"That's your hour, your duty hour. Get up and pray for people in that hour. If you keep waking up, I don't even have to go to the bathroom at 3 o'clock in the morning, but
Yep.
I'll wake up and something gets stirred in me."
So
So
basically, you should start praying when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, time to hit the floor,
Yeah.
hit the throne room. But I'll sit there and write everything that I'm thinking, and it'll be next thing I know, it's a new book. So to answer her question, the title is always last. It's
Wow.
the thought, it's the seed that's planted. I'll wake up and say, this needs to be said. So in this one that needs to be said, when I woke up with womanic, all right, it's gonna be a little controversial. I'm glad we talked about the other books first. Womanic is a book about a young lady who had so many problems with different men that she gave them up. Now, some of us say, man, it's going to be me and my kids from now on. I ain't messing with no more men.
Yeah.
But because, Kim, that it's acceptable to have a relationship, society accepts you to have a relationship with a woman. For stability, she's never been gay.
Right.
Never been gay, has chosen to marry a girl.
Wow.
Now, it's socially acceptable now.
It is.
But some of these young ladies who have never, ever been gay are marrying women because they tired of these tired behind lackless men, or there aren't available good men, or they cheat, or they in jail, or have been to jail, and you can't put 100% trust, so they're marrying whatever else is available to have a stable life because it's acceptable now. But the Lord had me write this for specific reasons, and he said, take your nose out of it, mind your business, and write it. So I can't express my opinions about it, but my characters can.
So what was the lesson in that book or within that book?
I'm still writing it, but the lesson will be God created marriage.
Because this is where I'm going with that. To each his own, first of all.
To each his own.
And what my mom always say, I don't have no heaven or hell to place you in.
We are not judges. Who are we to judge?
Not judges.
You see some of the mess in my I'm so glad God don't remember stuff.
I just know what I have. I know what I like, and it is what it
Lord.
is.
I surrender, Lord. Who am I?
So it is what it is.
So that's why I'm writing womanic. This woman
I like that.
This woman who I'm writing about is manic. She's bipolar. And she is not in a position to pick a mate. She has to work on her.
Right.
And no matter who you picking as a mate, you got to work on you a little bit, boo.
Yes. and then if that's who you want to be with, that's who you be with.
Love the one you with, baby.
That's it.
Now, people like, oh my gosh, you got lucky. You got lucky. Trey is this, Trey is that. I said, Trey is human. That's all I keep telling y'all. And like, y'all look good together. This man, I didn't get lucky. I'm blessed, but he is equally blessed. So we are equally yoked. He got flaws, and Lord knows I do too. I do too.
I agree.
So, okay, so that's womanic. Now I want to talk about, because it's a whole nother subject, hidden treasures. The hidden treasures volumes, because I'm the vice president of Purple High Tops and Stilettos against domestic violence, human trafficking, and sexual abuse. I had collected, me and Shannon's the president, Shannon Cousin, I have collected 4 volumes of different survivor stories of domestic violence, human trafficking, and sexual assault. So this is not fiction. This is healing stories of people who have survived. Yes. Now, a lot of people buy these books because all the proceeds go to the shelters for prevention and awareness. I do not keep any of the proceeds for Hidden Treasures.
Nice.
So whatever you contribute to Hidden Treasures goes to the shelters and to Women's Space and Women Against Abuse in Philly. There's one in Camden and one in Somerset and one in Willingboro. And I've been in all of them.
Wow.
All of them. And then we have brochures printed up because Purple High Tops and Stilettos is international. It's global.
Yes.
So we reach women from Sudan, Wales, Trinidad, Tobago, Sweden.
Wow.
And we give them resources and what Mama used to call mad money. When you're ready to go, you have your mad money.
That's
you
it.
have your escape money. You pick up the phone and call me, and I can get you out your relationship and put you on a flight if I have to, put you in an Uber if I have
That's
to.
it.
Because you need to go. So that you have your mad money. So
I would love for us to have a show strictly on how to deal with domestic violence. I would love to have that because I've been there too. Yeah. So, and when you were talking about shelters, you're absolutely right. We can't even tell you. We can only tell you the city that these shelters are in, but we can't tell you where they are.
Yep.
We're not supposed to.
We're not supposed to. So being an advocate against domestic violence, I send out monthly. I send out a list. You could add to my list, sign my petition, because the laws need to be changed concerning domestic violence and its penalties. There's a lot of things that falls under the umbrella of domestic violence. If you come and threaten my cat, it's domestic violence.
What? Wow. Wow.
Say what you feel, baby.
That's unbelievable.
If you come rip the pipes out of my house without ever touching me, it's domestic violence.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Any threat against you, your person, your family is domestic violence. So then they keep flip-flopping because under Obama, it was all of that. And then when Trump got in office, it was just you had to prove physical. If the cops come to your house and don't see that you have a physical bruise on you,
a scar or
not
a bruise.
Yeah. So the rules keep changing. So my petition is saying we need it to be all inclusive and for women and men and LGBTQ. And if somebody put their hands on you, they broke the law.
Okay. So as we all know, with domestic violence, it could be mental. So where's the scar? Where's the hit? Where's the slap? It's mental, but it's still abuse.
Emotional abuse is one of the worst.
It's the worst because the scar can heal.
Yeah.
A bruise can heal, but that's mental abuse stay with you forever.
That's why I thoroughly suggest PTSD counseling, which I had, because they got to the root of some of the issues I was having 25 years ago when I had this counseling. And I still remember how effective that was. And I didn't want to go to counseling because I thought counseling meant I failed. I thought that's what it meant. Mm-hmm. Counseling does not mean you failed. It's self-care. It falls under self-care.
I believe it. I love it. I stand by it. You need it.
I love you, girl. So we have 4 volumes of Hidden Treasures. My story is in the purple one, the first volume, but there's 4 volumes, and the other 13 books. The other 13 books are basically fiction, and then there's one for my kids that I wrote just for my kids, my adult, out of the house kids.
That's awesome.
Now, the books I've edited for, when I'm working down here in the office, I work out of my home, and you reach out to me and say, I was thinking about doing a book, but I don't know where to start. That's where I come in at. And we'll have consultation face to face, and I won't be satisfied till you are. I charge $600 for your first 100 pages, and most people have 100-page books. But the only requirements I have, Kim, is that it has to be a testimony or something you overcame, something that's going to uplift and motivate other women who read it or men. I can't do your space alien book, boo. Mm-hmm. It has to be something somebody's going to learn from or that you overcame so that God can get the glory. God has to get the glory out of anything I edit. And that was his demand. So I made it my demand.
That is so great. And where can we find your books?
IreeSky.com. Don't you, any
I
of you, don't dare go to Amazon. I'm not paying them for my hard work. So
I'm putting it here.
IreeSky.com.
IreeSky.com.
Yes. And please follow me. I'm on FB and Instagram. My Instagram is IreeSky_fiction. And then my Facebook is just IreeSky Fiction LLC. Or
So
just go
that's
Trisha
Instagram.
Williams. Trisha Williams, yeah. And I'll ask you to join me. I think I have like 2,500 followers, and I got about 3,000 in real life who come to my events. I have a lot of speaking engagements because I'm trying to have people avoid these common pitfalls and avoid domestic violence. So that those two are my platforms: adult literacy and domestic violence. That's what I'm passionate about, I should say.
Awesome.
Because nobody should have to get hurt 25 years ago and suffer 85% nerve damage when they get 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, they try to stick me and write prescriptions for all kinds of legal heroin, Vicodin, morphine, Percocets, but all I do is drink my ginger, my turmeric. Some days I can't walk. Some days I have problems walking. So you saw me with my shoes on the other night.
Listen, I did.
It was for the throne shot. It was just for the throne shot.
It was pretty good.
My husband said, "Let me take these off of you."
but it was interesting when you talked about it the first time, because I was like, really? These are some things that we should think about, you know, especially if we have gone through domestic violence before, you know, because I was like, hold up a minute. You know, I got hit in my head. I got slapped. You know,
and it might
I got
not show right away. Yeah, these scars we talked about.
Like, am I going to get these physical attributes like somewhere later on down the line? You know, these are things that we have to think about. Like, you know, when we're staying in these relationships and, you know, dealing with all this stuff that we've gone through, you know, I mean, I was in my physical abuse relationship for almost 9 years.
9 years. Now
9
you think about
years.
That. And think about
fighting.
What your children have seen, and they think it's okay.
And that's another thing.
What message
also
are you
said that, you know, our children can actually write a book on the experience that they had watching you go through these relationships. But when I think about the physical attribute, like, really, you know, I can have this pain in my arm probably stem from me.
Yes, ma'am. That could be it. It was crazy how they traced mine back, because I actually had a birth defect. And they said that's not enough of a contributor to what you're going through now, because they had to find out why I needed the brain surgery. Why do I have neuropathy? Why? A lot of things are hereditary, but they said, what trauma? Specifically asked me,
crazy.
What trauma have you gone through? I'm like, I had a couple car accidents.
And it makes you think about these things, like, okay, whether you should stay in this relationship, whether you should leave, or how long should you put up with it and stuff. It's like, dang, you really bring these things out of us, like, make us think.
That's the first question people ask me. Why didn't you leave?
I never would have thought that.
Why didn't you leave?
That will happen. Like, you know, like, look at what you're going through because of what happened to you years ago.
25 years ago. Yep. And now I have a wonderful man. He got to massage my feet every night.
Hard, long and hard.
Long and hard. So things and you know, I've talked to young girls, because we have a teen group too, about domestic violence, to identify the red flags and if somebody snatches your phone every night, let me see what's in your phone. Let me see who you're calling.
Yep.
That's a red flag.
Yep.
So with the teens, we always say, what can't you go home and say? What can't you go home and say? Now you
You
think
should be
about
able
that
to
as an
talk about
adult.
anything.
My husband ain't snatching my phone to see who I'm talking to. I love that. But I know that other joker did.
Yeah.
Ichabod. I know he would have, if we had cell phones back then, he would have.
True.
You can see it. So these red flags, the most important thing is to identify the isolation that begins it.
The isolation is number one.
And then you got to be able to recognize that honeymoon phase too. The I'm sorry, here come the roses.
The crying.
You know I would never do this. You know I never meant to do this.
Yeah.
But this what you brought me to.
It's
and
something.
Then my abuser's favorite words were, "Oh, you know better. You knew better. So what
like
was you
he's your father?"
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story. I want everybody. I can't believe we went over our darn hour, and we still have all these people still watching.
Thank you for staying, guys.
I'm sorry.
It's hard to get me and you off the phone because we talk forever.
It's really interesting because I knew I had to have you on here when I heard certain things that you had gone through, and I was like, this lady is you're a walking miracle. Yeah. It's like I couldn't believe it. I was like, I need to have you share your story.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, hallelujah. It was Kiara.
Thank you, Kiara. I love you, sis.
Story.
Yes, I love you. I would love for all of you to write books. I encourage people to write. You don't have to go through IreeSky to write a book. You could just take me. I do consultation for people who already have the book, know the platform, but they're worried about their punctuation, spelling, sentence structure, those kinds of things. People are like, I can't write a book. Yes, you can.
But people just don't realize that writing a book is very therapeutic.
It says, isn't it time you wrote that book? That's my slogan.
Yeah, because I changed. I actually, my mindset changed just by writing my memoir.
Just by writing it.
And you know why?
Because feeling in it.
I want to write something, the power of a pen. And it's like when you write that, when you start writing things down, it's just something that resonates, like from what you're writing and comprehension. It just makes you think about, like, really, I actually went through this, or I'm actually going through this, and why did I go through that? You know, people don't understand writing and journaling is
it's powerful.
It's so powerful.
You could write something and go back to the journal the following year. That's why I like Facebook memories.
Yeah.
Because you'll see the change in you once the memories pop up and you're like, really? That's where my mind was on Powerhouse? Like,
it's so true.
What about Powerhouse, really? But once you go through something, it brings you back to where your mindset was the year before, and you see the growth and maturity. You see the growth. You see the difference.
And what you want to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate again.
Will not. Yes. So it makes a difference. I had a teacher who took me to see Nikki Giovanni at Trenton State College. I'm telling all my age now. It was 1985. She's my favorite teacher, Miss Vivian Rooks. And we heard her speak. We heard Nikki Giovanni speak, and Natsaki Shang was there too. Wow. And I heard them speak. And ever since then, I knew I wanted to go to that college, and I wanted to write. I wanted to write, be a writer, or teach. So the shout out to Miss Vivian Rooks, who was my mentor. And she said to me, people always say, I declare and decree. Please understand, when you declare something, you're making a statement from your mouth. When you decree, you're writing it.
That's it. It's so true.
So when you write it, you own it. So go back and read what you wrote and say, pat yourself on the back.
It's so true.
So when you go back into your Facebook memories and you see something there that was just immature or stupid, kick your own self, because you wrote it. Once you write it, you own it. And that's how you felt last year. We write stupid stuff on Facebook. Some memories pop up, I'm like, why I write that?
Yep.
That was stupid.
It's so true.
You let the
Well,
world know. To
well,
think
I
it is
thank
one
you
thing. Yeah.
so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on and sharing your stories with us,
Thank
all
you.
your books, because some people can't even write one, and you wrote 17. So I just commend you for doing all that.
Thank
And
you. No, I'm just a vessel to be used by the Lord. Thank you.
yes. So you have one more book coming out. Do you have any other projects that you have coming up?
I have about 8 more books. I did 3 stage plays. Well, I wrote 3 stage plays, but I only did Flawless. I have
Wow.
Lifted and I have Embers. Embers is about a very, very angry person. I haven't
Yes.
decided if it's a male or a female yet.
Oh,
But anger can put us in hot water or in jail or in dead in the grave. So addressing anger is important.
yes, it is.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, addressing anger, we have our anger management coach. I guess you can say that she is. But Gardner,
Okay.
she'll be here on the 19th. And
I'm coming in the room.
yes, because it's this show is bi-weekly, so she will be here next on the 19th, Monday
Okay.
the 19th. And she will be telling Dr. Tyra Gardner. I'm
Dr.
sorry I
Tyra
didn't put that
Gardner.
in the front. Sorry about that, because titles are important, especially when
Yes.
you have studied all these years for it.
Yeah. Charge it to her head, not her heart.
That's right. That's
The
right.
only book
Listen,
I
I'm
was missing.
giving her props, but she'll be
Yeah,
here on
giving
the
her props.
19th, and she'll be teaching us all about anger,
Oh, I would love to hear. I would love to be
controlling
in the
anger,
audience.
because it makes a difference. But do you have any last and final words for us?
Yes, the book that's not here that I don't have a picture of is You're Not the Boss of Me, and that's about bullying and suicide. And it's very vital to all of us that we reach out to one another. Reach out to one another and see the need and find the need and find out and knock on doors, make phone calls to check on your sisters and brothers, because
Yes.
a lot of us don't know what we're going through. And I would hate to see suicidal tendencies in any of the young people who read my books in the world, who are attached to me, my mentees, my mentors, kill themselves. I would hate to see it.
Yeah, that's true.
And there'll be no explanation of why they did it, but you weren't there. And now people say, give me my flowers while I'm alive. But basically, bang on my door and see if I'm okay. Bang on your neighbor's door,
That's true.
elderly, young people. You don't know what they're going through. So
That's
that's
true.
my final word.
Aw. Well,
Check
I
on
thank
folks.
you so much.
Thank you,
And
sis.
anyone else, if you're on here and you still have questions for Trisha or myself, please put your comments in the comment section.
Yes.
Also, what's more important, go on YouTube. Make sure you please subscribe to the channel so that you can see other artists and authors tell their stories. And
Yes.
actually, I just had to tell this real quick. We are booked all the way up until March of next year. I know, right?
I'm so
Listen,
proud of you. I'm so
I'm
proud of
happy
you.
about this, and I love it, and I'm so glad that we have exciting people like yourself.
Thank you.
And I just look to see everybody on the 19th. But I thank you so much, Trisha,
You're
and
welcome.
stand by.
Thank you.
Have a great night, everybody.